Good day, I'm Dennis Ward. Welcome to APTN National News. It is budget day. Today, the Carney government will deliver its first budget since winning the federal election last April. Finance Minister François-Philippe Champagne will deliver the budget this afternoon at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. APTN News has reporters in the budget lockup at this hour. The Prime Minister started the day off with a cabinet meeting this morning. The minority Liberal government's budget will need to pass a confidence motion in the House of Commons. If it were to be voted down, we could be plunged into a federal election around Christmas. We'll bring you the details tonight on the budget on your APTN National News at 6 p.m. Eastern. Assembly of First Nations National Chief Cindy Woodhouse-Nepenak will also join us live on the show tonight for her opinion on the budget. The FN has called on the federal government to advance First Nations priorities in essential services, including support for children and families, policing, education, and languages. A 5-year-old girl from Sucker Creek First Nation in northern Alberta is still in hospital nearly 3 weeks after being attacked by stray dogs. APTN's Chris Stewart spoke to her mother and sister about what happened. And a warning, some of the images in this story are disturbing.
Camila is autistic and nonverbal. On the afternoon of October 14th, her mother Ashley, sister Eve, and Eve's friend Zoe were outside their home at Sucker Creek doing lawn work. Ashley needed to use the washroom and told her daughter to watch over Camila. The girls were playing with new puppies. Ashley says she returned and noticed Camila was missing. The three began a frantic search. Ashley's sister and her friend found Camila being attacked by 3 dogs, including 2 German Shepherds.
Zoe grabbed Camila's shoes and threw it at the dogs, and then I started running, and then I got to her, and then Zoe knocked on the neighbor's door, and then I picked up Camila, and I brought her inside.
Camila suffered extensive wounds over her body.
Her legs from the knees to her thighs and her urinary area was completely open, bleeding, and I mean some of the gashes in her legs, they were physically eating her.
She called 911 3 times, but the call kept dropping. A friend drove them to a hospital in nearby High Prairie. From there, she was airlifted to the Stollery Children's Hospital in Edmonton and underwent emergency surgery. Thankfully, there is some good news.
By the grace of Creator, every single hole in her leg was a millimeter away from nerves, a millimeter away from major arteries. She will have full function of her legs.
Days later, Camila received a skin graft.
It was looking good for the 5 days after the skin graft, but not yesterday, but the day before, the surgeon came and talked to me and told me that the skin graft was infected, so it's not taking. The first plan of action is just to get rid of the infection, and then we will be looking at more surgery.
APTN contacted Sucker Creek First Nation and were told they would not comment as an active investigation is ongoing. They have announced a program to register and collar dogs on the reserve. They confirmed at least 2 of the 3 dogs have been put down. Ashley says strays need to be dealt with.
There has been other attacks. There was a woman who was attacked this summer. She was attacked. She had to get surgery, I believe, in Grand Prairie. She's an elder as well. She was walking to the band office.
There is a GoFundMe set up to help with expenses for the family. Chris Stewart, APTN National News, Edmonton.
Opioid overdoses have been increasing across Canada. Latest Stats Canada data shows First Nations people out west are 3 times more likely to die from an opioid overdose. In this 2-part series, our reporter Savannah Craig takes us into the Mi'kmaq community of Listuguj in eastern Quebec. People there are still mourning the loss of an 18-year-old girl.
She didn't deserve what happened to her. The drugs are a serious issue. That's been forever. It's ongoing. Nothing is changing. Nothing is stopping. It's just been the hardest struggle I've ever endured. She shouldn't have died that way. She could have gotten help. So he's already, I can't get out of bed.
Right next to me is a sign commemorating the death of Savannah Metallic, who passed away in June of this year. It's a constant reminder that just one pill of fentanyl can kill.
She was born June 13, 2007 at 8 pounds, 9 ounces, 21 inches long.
Lacey Kondo shares memories of her daughter Savannah. For many in the community, including Lacey, Savannah's death represents a much larger issue: drugs in the community.
Nothing has been done as far as the drugs in our community. They're still selling the exact same pill that killed my daughter.
As a child, Savannah loved to dance.
She did pom-pom, she did hip-hop, she did ballet, she did all of it.
She became a teenager that loved children, with aspirations to one day become a mom.
And this is her again, always holding somebody's baby. Twins.
Savannah had a bubbly and caring personality.
She's just happy to make people happy. That was one thing that she really loved to do.
Now her mother carries her everywhere.
And this is our matching tattoo. Her and I have the same tattoo. She got that 4 days before she passed. And this one was a gift.
That's very nice.
Yeah, so it opens up and it's her face.
It's close to your heart.
Close to my heart. Everywhere I go, she's with me.
Lacey says Savannah was 5 months sober after going to rehab, but says her daughter ended up with the wrong crowd.
If they would have just called 911, she would still be here, she would be alive. I had to go in there and see my daughter. Cold, stiff, blue lips, blue feet, foam coming out of her mouth, blood coming out of her nose.
I spoke with people on and off camera who said the issue of drugs in the community is one of the biggest issues in Listuguj. Departments in Listuguj do not collect the rates of opioid overdoses. Even Statistics Canada has very little data collected from First Nations.
I just want people to remember her kind heart.
Lacey believes not enough is being done in the community.
They're still selling the exact same pill that killed my daughter. Those are still on our streets. There's a lot. It's just painful to watch. It's like a slap in the face every single day.
But other family members are looking for accountability too, including Savannah's great aunt, Anita Metallic.
Nobody knows how to deal with this. It's like communities are struggling everywhere, like Hamilton, Cross Point. You're dealing with it.
If you sold a pill to someone and they died, you need to be held accountable.
At one point they were threatening, like, oh, well, you got family members, so you better calm down because they'll go after your family. Which kind of made it difficult for me.
Other community members told APTN News they're hesitant to speak out against dealers for fear of retaliation. APTN News reached out to the Listuguj Mi'kmaq government to understand how the council is addressing the issue. However, we did not receive a response to our request.
What's it gonna take? How many more people have to die? How many more children have to die?
Tune in to APTN National News tomorrow night to watch the second part, where we speak with the Listuguj Police Department.
One of the biggest challenges is that we're not enough officer. Every officer has one.
And we'll look at what needs to be done to reduce opioid-related deaths in Listuguj.
My mom, she's an addict. My dad was an alcoholic. To me, I feel like it's up to you to break the cycle.
Savannah Craig, APTN National News, Listuguj, Mi'kmaq First Nation.
And be sure to join us tonight to watch the second part of Savannah Craig's story on the Listuguj drug crisis. Time for a quick break. Still to come, veterans are honored in Winnipeg and a look at tonight's episode of Face to Face. Stick around. Welcome back. In Manitoba, the Southern Chiefs organization held its third annual Veterans Day Summit over the weekend, and our TR Wheatley attended the event and brings us more.
Pretty wobbly. These veterans were honored at this summit for the sacrifices they made while protecting their country. The third annual event, called Look How Far We've Come, is hosted by SCO, the Southern Chiefs organization.
Identifying and reducing systemic barriers.
That's Justin Woodcock. The 8-year Army and Navy veteran runs SCO's Veterans Program, offering traditional wraparound support year-round to roughly 200 First Nations men and women.
We provide assistance with veteran affairs claims, monthly cultural workshops and events, peer support events, and we do advocacy for veteran issues at all levels of government.
A big topic here.
I apologize to every CAF member, veteran who experienced racism.
The Canadian Armed Forces, or CAF, made an official apology in Ottawa last week. It brings mixed feelings for many in this room, including Joseph Mott of Skownan First Nation.
I did 6 years, but I signed for 20 years. But some issues came up. They said bye-bye. July of 1985. I consider myself one of the bravest. I went to Europe for 4 years, standing toe-to-toe with the Russians. I wasn't scared to die for Canada, and a lot of us still feel that way. Many of us, like there still are people joining in droves.
On top of compensation, many here want to see CAF provide financial support to seek traditional healers, something Master Warrant Officer Robert Brown heard loud and clear.
How we do this moving forward.
The Mistawasis Cree Nation band member was this year's keynote speaker. Brown's been in the military for 32 years and currently works closely with some of the most senior-ranking military members, a role that he takes seriously.
I would say the opportunity to make change, and have the ability to kind of provide that education, the ability to, focus on that reconciliation, and just to bring awareness in the best way that we can to leadership.
But for many veterans in this room, they say that change needs to come soon.
They never got to see this apology.
Saying too many veterans have died before getting what was owed to them for the sacrifices they made. TR Wheatley, APTN National News, Winnipeg.
Filmmaker Shane Belcourt is our guest on an all-new episode of Face to Face, which airs tonight at 6:30 Eastern Time. His most recent documentary is Nina Damadi's Red Power Rising, a documentary about an Indigenous-led occupation in Anishinaabe Park over nearly 40 days in 1974. We also discussed what led him to go to film school.
I mean, my sister's Christy Belcourt, the painter, and then my dad, Tony Belcourt, Indigenous rights advocate and leader, Auntie Maria and Harry Daniels always around, Lawrence Gladue, all these amazing luminaries of movement, of thought, of love for who we are. And then when I was like, I'm not that guy. I'm a little goofy. I like to have fun. I like to think through things, but I definitely want to not be a politician. I'm very uncomfortable in that space, and I love movies. Just, you know what I mean? I mean, you're sitting there and the logo comes on. I used to be able to hum every single production company's logo song, and I just was like, this is just so transformative. I am Luke Skywalker, I am all these people. I am Indiana Jones. Like, how does that happen? And that was just an art form that I was enthralled by.
Time now to take a look at one of this week's web poll questions. And as mentioned, it is budget day today, and we're asking, do you think the federal budget will help people living in Canada? Yes, no, or unsure are your options there. You can go to our website, aptnnews.ca/poll to cast your ballot. Jordin Tootoo is the focus of a new documentary. We'll hear from the former NHLer after the break. Welcome back. Here's a look at your current conditions. 9 in Fredericton, showers, and 9 for Halifax. 3 with rain in Kuujjuaq, cloudy, and 6 in Nain. 10 in Montreal, 5 in Val-d'Or. Sunny and 9 in Sault Ste. Marie. Sun's out and 11 in Ottawa at this hour. 5 in Thunder Bay, 6 in Sioux Lookout. Sunny and 3 in God's Lake and the Paw, 5 in Norway House. Sunny and 5 in Winnipeg, sun's out and 6 in Dauphin. 3 in Regina, Yorkton, and Saskatoon. 2 in Meadow Lake and La Ronge. In northern Alberta, sunny and -2 in High Level, 3 below in Fort Chipewyan. 7 in Edmonton, snow, and 2 in Lethbridge. 10 with showers in Vancouver, 5 in Kamloops. 0 in Prince George, flurries, and 2 in Smithers. -14 in Old Crow, cloudy, and 2 below in Whitehorse. -10 in Yellowknife, 8 below in Norman Wells. -20 in Sax Harbor, 16 below in Inuvik. -14 in Chesterfield, 13 below in Arviat. -10 in Resolute, 0 with snow in Iqaluit. From the frozen tundra of the Arctic to the National Hockey League's biggest arenas, Enoch hockey player Jordin Tootoo thrilled crowds for a decade in the NHL. Tootoo's struggles off the ice are well documented, and he may be more well known today for his contributions as an advocate, mentor, and role model. The highs and lows of the Rankin Inlet hockey player are laid out in a new documentary simply titled Tootoo. For more on the film, our Creason Achkate spoke with Jordin earlier.
Jordin Tootoo, great to have you with us, and nakomik for being here. You've previously laid out some of the highs and lows of your career and your life. What can people expect in this new Tootoo documentary?
Yeah, it's been a ride and a half, to tell you the least. The last 5 years, having cameras around has been a lot of fun, a lot of learning. My story isn't just a hockey story. This documentary is a documentary for all walks of life, and there's a lot of heavy stuff. That being said, I think our people, our Indigenous communities, need to hear one of their own share their journeys, and for me, in my sobriety, my 14-year journey in sobriety has allowed me to work on myself and to be comfortable and content in my own skin. And 5 years ago, Scorgy Production approached me and wanted to do my life story, and at that time, being retired, I thought it was a perfect time to dive into it. And it's, to be honest, it's been a healing journey, not only for myself but my immediate family. I commend my mom and dad, how courageous they were to speak the truth and to really absorb a lot of our traumas and hardships, and help us move forward as a family.
Those who have had a chance to see you speak will know that you're very upfront about your previous struggles of intergenerational trauma and finding a path forward to healing. Are you hoping this documentary will spark some of those difficult conversations?
Absolutely. I advocate our people to share their story, because we've been fighting amongst each other for decades. We all know the history, and we've been waiting for somebody else to get the job done, and I choose to dive in with both feet, not knowing what the outcome will be. But I believe in today's society we need more of our men to step up to the plate, because we are the leaders in our communities, and we need to lead by example. Yes, there's a lot of trauma. We have a lot of baggage, and you know, I carried a lot of shame and guilt. There's a lot of things I'm not proud of some of the things that I did, but I'm leaving that behind, and I choose to move forward in my journey, in my personal journey. And you know, more often than not, a lot of our people, when we see one of our own becoming successful, we want to pull them back down. We need to elevate our own. We need to elevate our men, and we need to come together as a community. You know, I always, when I go and do my public speaking, one of the things that I can really relate to is, you know, when we're out on the land, we become one. When we're in our communities, we are divided, and we need to bring that mentality of being out on the land back into our communities.
No, great messaging indeed. From leaving your home at a young age to play junior hockey to the big leagues and where you are today, how do you reflect back on all that you've gone through?
A lot of gratefulness, a lot of humbling experiences, you know, a lot of ups and downs, but that's life. You know, I tell our people, in order for us to evolve, you're going to face a lot of failures. And in today's generation, I see that failure is of no option, and kids are growing up scared to fail at something, when, you know, our people back in the day, you know, in order to survive out on the land, we need each other. For many years, I thought I could control my sobriety and do it on my own, when in fact, you can't do it on your own. You need a team, and you need a community. And you know, I always talk about our people coming together. Why do we always come together when there's tragedy? Why don't we come together and elevate and congratulate students, people in our community, and become whole? But that being said, we need the land. The land is where we become one.
Yeah, no, so true there, Jordin. The film debuted on Super Channel and Apple TV last week. What's been the reaction so far from those who watched the documentary?
I think there's been a lot of heads put up high. You know, I think my film shows a lot of men that it's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to show weakness. It's okay to show emotion. You know, a lot of our Indigenous men carry this pride and ego to a very high standard, and you know, each community has those individuals, and I think when you let your guards down and earn your respect, you know, get back to your roots, get back to your culture, ask questions, go talk to your elders, learn, educate yourself. You know, your average Canadian is uneducated about our history. I tell Canadians to open up a textbook and learn about us. And that's what my documentary hopefully will inspire more people to dive into our history, and you know, because enough of us being labeled.
You can now watch Tootoo on Super Channel, Apple TV, or you can rent or buy it on Amazon or Google Play. Jordin Tootoo, thank you so much for your time, and please come back anytime.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Looking forward to checking that one out. That is all the time we have for your first look at the day's news. You can stay up to date with the very latest by visiting our website, aptnnews.ca. And we will be back here at 6 p.m. Eastern Time with all of your budget details and much more. I'm Dennis Ward. Marcy McGuitch, thanks for being with us. Have a great afternoon.